On today's episode of the Cryptoverse, Storj is moving its token from Counterparty to Ethereum because of Bitcoin's transaction backlog, and Norway's Skandiabanken grants access to Bitcoin investments directly through their online banking system. So you're paranoid about the security of your cryptocurrency, and you want to buy a hardware wallet so you can keep your money safe. But which hardware wallet should you buy? Well, the Crypto Hardware Wallet Superstore has written a free buyer's guide especially for you. Check it out today by clicking on the link in the video description below. Hi there guys, and welcome to the latest episode of the Cryptoverse, your regular dose of news and commentary on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies and blockchains. I am your host, Chris Coney. Today is the 18th of May 2017. I have one announcement for you today. We'll do the market roundup, and then I only have two news stories for you today, so you'll have to make do. Just two more editions of the Cryptoverse to go. That will be today and tomorrow before we get a bit choppy on the seas. That means there's going to be a disruption to the schedule of me releasing content because I'm going away until the 1st of June. So just look out for that. If you see the content disappear, then don't worry, I haven't gone anywhere. I have gone somewhere, but I've not left the channel or abandoned it. I will be back on the 1st of June. And also, keep an eye on the channel. You may see various bits of content crop up at random during the time I'm away, so I'll keep that to the element of surprise. And now let's hop over to coinmarketcap.com for the market roundup. So Bitcoin is still dancing around that range between 1700 and 1900. Not quite $1 billion worth of trading volume today in US dollars, but it's still right up there, 944 million. Now, after being somewhat the star of the show yesterday and being the subject of some big news yesterday, Ripple has now dropped 14%, which comes a bit as a surprise to me, but perhaps that big 39% gain that it had yesterday was just too tempting for Ripple holders and they just decided to sell and get some big gains. One of my patrons in particular, actually, who shall not be named, was celebrating in the chat group yesterday after selling his Ripple holdings for what he called a life-changing amount of money, which is always nice to hear. Anyway, if we go down further, let's have a look at NEM today, up 53%. That means NEM just added $500 million of market cap in 24 hours, putting it in 4th place now. What I find interesting is that out of the top 10 coins, 7 of them are proof of work coins in terms of their mining, Dash being a hybrid of proof of work and proof of stake. Getting back to NEM though, from what I've read in the news recently, NEM are sort of occupying a bit of a sweet spot in that they're able to provide existing financial institutions with similar services to Ripple, but with superior technology and without just being stuck to that one use case, right? NEM can do a lot more than that. Now I must say, it's about time that I got real deep into NEM. At the moment, I don't feel I could confidently run like a live stream call-in show and be prepared to answer all NEM questions. So that's the standard I like to hold myself to. Moving on from there, if you took that little tip from me yesterday and went to read up on the LiteCoin Reddit, you may have actually bought some. If you did, you're now up 11.6% because LiteCoin has returned to $25.65 and remains above $1.3 billion market cap. And final mention today goes to, if we scroll down a bit here, Bitcoin, which I spoke about yesterday. I believe I referred to it as underwhelming and forgettable. Well, despite those labels, Bitcoin is now the 10th most highly capitalized coin, displacing Steam. And this is thanks to an 80% gain in price, making Bitcoin a $329 million market cap. Now, I rarely ever do this, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Bitcoin's visit into the top 10 is going to be short-lived. That's just my opinion. The first news article today comes from the Cointelegraph, cointelegraph.com. So Storj is moving its token from being based on the Counterparty protocol to Ethereum because of Bitcoin's transaction backlog. So we have achieved another first ever on the Bitcoin network recently. It's the first time we have ever had 220,000 transactions stuck waiting to be confirmed. It works out to over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin that is waiting to be sent from one wallet to another. Now, Storj, which is a decentralized cloud storage platform that allows people to rent out their hard drive space on the one hand, and on the other hand, for people to buy that hard drive space on the other, the internal currency, which carries the symbol SJCX, StorjX, is currently based on the Counterparty protocol. Now, Counterparty is a colored coin, which means it's built as an extension to Bitcoin rather than having its own blockchain. That has the advantages, of course, of inheriting Bitcoin's security, its mining power, and so on, but the Counterparty wallet needs a serious upgrade, and processing stored transactions on the Bitcoin network is becoming increasingly untenable. So Storj is already working on moving its currency to Ethereum using the ERC20 token standard. That should help them then process transactions much faster and more reliably, not to mention more cheaply. So this pending move to an Ethereum token is maybe why Storj has temporarily disappeared from Shapeshift. The core functionality of Storj itself works great, but they're working on evolving the technology to a point where the Storj network could deliver content directly to the web, say for streaming videos, for example. And finally, Storj are 24 hours away from launching an ICO, which will help them fund further development and marketing, so I'll link to that in the YouTube description as always. Second news story today comes from Bitcoin Magazine, bitcoinmagazine.com. This article is entitled Norwegian Bank Grants Access to Bitcoin Investments Through Online Banking. Now this one might be quite hard to believe, but here is the situation. Skandiabanken have integrated their online banking system with Coinbase to allow their customers to buy, store, and sell cryptocurrencies directly from the online banking system at Skandiabanken. Now this means they have all the benefits of having a Coinbase account, but without having to open one. Every customer instantly has that functionality available. Now, Skandiabanken already have all the customers' personal information for complying with regulations, to prevent money laundering and all of that stuff. So there's actually nothing stopping them from doing this. Now, this is a significant move because Skandiabanken are recognizing cryptocurrency as an investment class on equal footing with other securities. Christopher Henares, Head of Innovation and Development at Skandiabanken, said, quote, "We recognize that this is something people want to put their money in. When we think it is right to look at a new solution that we can offer, we think it's a better approach than categorically thinking that this is scary." Close quote. Now, my take on this is that it is a triple win. Coinbase get a big wave of new transactions that they can charge fees on. Skandiabanken will no doubt get a share of those fees, while at the same time providing masses of added value to their customers, and the customers now have effortless access to Bitcoin, LiteCoin, and Ethereum directly from the online banking system. All I can say to that is, bravo. So thanks for joining me today, guys. If you liked this episode, hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike button. Please leave me a comment below with some feedback and get subscribed. And please support the Cryptoverse and boost cryptocurrency adoption by going to cryptoversity.com/podcast and becoming a patron. From just a few dollars a month, you can secure Cryptoversity's future, get unlimited access to all Cryptoversity courses, and access a private patrons-only chat group where you get direct access to me. That is all for today, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Cryptoverse. So until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.